speaking of, well, my granddad was a miner mighty long ago in Butte, who spent his whole life scraping by, who never left his boots, till someone bought his bosses out and he'd outlived his use. They let him go, they trimmed the wage, and they hired someone new. And he learned that's what job creators do. Now walking through the heart of town, I see my daddy's shop. Then he shut down when the superstore got put in down the block. And he didn't have a lot of choice to work there all the same, for half of what he made when he had something to his name. He told me that's the way it is, that's business through and through. And he told me that's what job creators do. Now on. I seen a lot of poverty start blooming in this town. I seen too many families out sleeping on the ground. When I offered help, I got harassed by Sheriff Brown, as he grit that kind of grin that said, I'd love to put you down, but if I owned a mine and I enslaved them for a crew, I bet he'd call me a job creator too. They'll tell you how 1,000 miles are hungry for your bread, and they'll say that to succeed you need to step on people's heads. Those suckers might be starving, but it's better them than you, and they'll tell you that's what job creators do. Yeah, they'll tell you that's what job creators do. That's outsourced.
Who are these people? Who are these people?
Hi, everybody. I don't know why that thing keeps... Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's turn off outsource. This is Indy. Hi. We're a little late, but we're here, and we're ready to go. And I've got some amazing guests, and we had a little technical challenges, but we are starting now, and we are going to talk with our ALB1 Amazon workers, and they're going to tell us what's going on, some of the things in the warehouse that they're experiencing. So I wanted to welcome Vanessa, I wanted to welcome Shy, and I wanted to welcome Heather. So welcome. I'm Indy here, and you've got, I don't know why the name badges aren't showing. I can probably turn that on. Share names. There we go. All right. Now we're cooking with gas. All right. So here we are. So to set this up a little bit, I've been talking with Heather. Well, first of all, I've been following Heather. Heather is an employee and an advocate at ALB1. And I've been following her on TikTok for quite a while, really since I think she started organizing to try to unionize the store, to unionize the warehouse. And since then, a lot's happened. We connected last week or earlier in the week and had a long conversation. And she said, there's a bunch of stuff you should know about, and I'd love to come on and tell your audience. And I said, well, that sounds awesome. So she's bringing some people from the warehouse, and I'm really excited to have them here. I'm going to let each one of you introduce yourselves, and I'm literally going to turn the floor over to you. We want to hear from the workers. We want to hear what's happening in the store, in the warehouses and stores. I've got a different industry mentality in my head.
There is Amazon
Heather,
stores, though, so you're not wrong.
Yes. So Heather, can you please set up a little better than me? I'm a little tongue-tied. I apologize.
It's okay. Sure.
Please.
So as you said, my name is Heather Goodall. And tonight I am joined by two women of ALB1. Two experienced a relationship at Amazon with two very, very different outcomes. And I'm very excited to talk to both of these women about their experiences, but also we're going to touch on a topic I think that impacts not only Amazon workers, which is very important to touch on, but also across America. The second relationship that we're going to talk about also incorporates some conversation about domestic violence. So both of these women are going to share their stories about what happened at Amazon and how very different each relationship was handled, one resulting in a termination. So after they introduce themselves, I think we should start with Shy and then move on to what happened with our victim of domestic violence. Go ahead.
Um, Sorry, I'm a little shy.
Hi, Shy.
That is your
Hi,
name.
Vanessa.
So welcome, Shy. Welcome to INN. Love to
Hi,
hear your
guys.
story.
Okay. Heather, could you touch in on this? And I'll kind of fill in the gaps.
Okay, I think basically what they would like is for me to guide them. But Shy, can you first introduce yourself? What is your name? When did you start at Amazon? How long have you been there? And what day you were fired? So let's start with your name and when you started at ALB1.
Okay, my name is Cheyenne, and I started at ALB1 August 2nd of 2023, and I got terminated um March 29th.
Was it?
Shit.
On leap day, February, what was it?
Yeah.
March 1st. Friday's March 1st.
Yeah, March
Yeah, it was
1st.
it was approximately then. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And then Vanessa, please go ahead and introduce yourself. How long have you been at ALB1? And you are still currently
So,
employed, but we're going to talk about what happened.
yes, I'm still currently employed with Amazon. My name is Vanessa. I started with Amazon on Halloween 2 years ago. I just had my anniversary
Woo
and
woo.
hanging on by a thread.
Okay, so we have Shy and Vanessa. So we're going to circle back to Shy. Now, Shy, you said that you had started at Amazon ALB1 in August of
Yep.
2023, correct?
Yes.
So you started at ALB1 in what department?
Pack.
So you were a
Outbound.
packer.
Yes.
Okay, so you were a packer, which is how we met, right?
Yes.
When you were packing. So when you were at ALB1, we met, you were packing, and you and I got close. And I remember one time there was a learning trainer that was quote unquote warning people about me, which was another story for another time. And you had kind of come to my rescue and said, "Hey, this is going on." And you and I, from that point on, were very close and kind of looked out for each other.
Yeah, we just clicked
We
instantly.
did. We definitely did. And shortly after we met, you had introduced me to another Amazon worker at ALB1, right?
Yes.
And you introduced her, and I noticed there was a little something between you and her. And shortly after, you two were dating, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you and another girl from ALB1 had started dating.
Yes.
Approximately how long were you dating? How did it start? How did it go? Just a little bit of details about
Um
how.
I met her September 23rd, 2 days after my birthday, but I knew her and I chatted with her in the past on Facebook since 2019.
Okay, so you had known each other, but then ran into each other at work. And,
Yeah,
I
so
noticed.
basically we had each other on social media, but you know when you have someone on social media but you never talk to them in person or you never really have full-blown conversations with them?
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
how
how
it
did it
was.
start at Amazon? Because I noticed there seems to be a lot of romance at Amazon. And they
Yeah,
all
it
end
gets a
very,
lot worse than this though.
oh boy. Okay, so let's talk about how did that romance blossom at ALB1 after you realized you had been talking and now you're working together. So how did that blossom?
Um, it kind of hit the fan quick. That's the best way that I could put it. Like, it was fine when it was kind of, I guess you could say, a secret,
Oh boy,
but when it got put out there, it got put out there.
I
And
say.
working in a warehouse and having a, I guess you could say, intimate or any kind of relationship outside of a friend, it kind of will fall back on you in a negative way for the most part. That's
So
just
do
from
you
my experience.
you mean specifically at Amazon? Because like I said, I there is a lot of romance at Amazon. I'm not sure how, but do you find that it gets complicated more so
Yeah,
at
of course.
Amazon?
Because I believe that for me, like from experience, it's stressful and it's kind of impossible to work with somebody and still be yourself at the same time who you're in a intimate relationship with.
Okay. So, how long after you started dating did you realize that things were not going according to plan and now you work together?
Um, so at first things were going pretty smooth because think about it. You have to think about it as in like a regular relationship, like an outside relationship. Things always go smooth at first. And
Mhm.
then once they go left, it's hard to
So, about how
deal
long
with.
after you started dating did you realize, hey, we're working together and this isn't going well
Um,
and it's
so
starting to get
I
awkward
knew that it was gonna be a problem when she started harassing me on the floor.
at work?
When I couldn't even walk down the Green Mile without hearing my name being screamed or
Mhm. So I
just
want to ask you about that because, and just so that everybody knows that's listening, what the Green Mile is. The Green Mile is basically a lane throughout the building where associates can walk. It's the main corridor, the main walkway. So now you said at work she was yelling your name on the Green Mile.
yeah, like all you would hear is Shy or Cheyenne down the Green Mile. And she kinda like circling back to what you asked, like I said, it was kind of impossible to work with somebody who I was on that level with because in my eyes, I don't feel as if like she separated that and work. It kind of like combined and it made it difficult for me to be able to focus and do what I have to do. Even though I still did what I had to do,
Mm-hmm.
she made it
And
difficult.
she was a manager, right? Is that correct?
No,
No.
she was
Oh,
an
oh, okay.
AA.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Um, if you knew the dynamics, then you would know why we chuckle at that question. um, so now you guys are now things are going south. So did you go to HR, go to your manager? Did you ask for a transfer to another department? So how did you handle that? Because like I said, there's a lot of romance at Amazon. So what happens when it goes south? And I want to get to how you got terminated. So now things are
Um,
going south. So what do you do? Do you go to your manager? What do you do?
well, I actually, when this is around the time where I was constantly picking up extra shifts, and I would ask who was it? Like, it got so bad to the point where Natalie, the OM, like, she kept, like, separating us, like, she would
Mhm.
not put us near each other no matter how much she asked to like be by me. Natalie would keep us separated because I would like tell them like, like I can't do this. Like I'm getting stressed out. It's too much. It's just too much. I
Mm-hmm.
can't deal with
Mm-hmm.
somebody calling my name
Gotcha.
constantly and wanting me to like come to their station, and then I
Mm-hmm.
can't focus on my work at the same time.
So, yeah, Andy, what are your thoughts on the inter warehouse romance? I mean, do you see
Well,
how this can escalate quickly?
I definitely see how it can escalate. I also think that it's an impossible issue for Amazon to deal with because of the hours that they force their workers to work. In addition to the fact that most of the workers live a significant distance, so between commuting, between taking care of your regular, life activities, laundry, eating, sleeping, and everything else, how much time do you even really have to socialize, fraternize with anybody outside the warehouse? I mean, I can see Amazon potentially trying to put a policy of no fraternization in place, but for single employees, it's going to be virtually impossible. I would guess that there's probably, cheating on marriages. There's all kinds of relationship stuff that's got to
Well,
happen there. Go ahead.
for me, I'm not married.
But people do get
But
married there.
hey, be quiet, cut it out.
Why?
But so at the time, I was completely single.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
So, sorry. Okay, so you're single, you're dating, things go awry. The manager says, "Hey," she tries to, keep you guys separate as much as possible. So now, all of a sudden, you get an email. Am I right?
yep. And the thing is, I haven't worked with this female for since early December. She switched to nights, and
Mm-hmm.
before that, she was constantly taking VTO. She
Mm-hmm.
switched to nights January 7th.
Mm-hmm.
So I have not seen her since then.
Mm-hmm. So you haven't seen her, but as is common in ending of relationships, sometimes somebody has something that belongs to the other one. So now what happens is she allegedly owes you money. You want your
Yep.
money. So why don't you tell us a little bit about you're asking for the money, how that goes down, and then the email. So how does
So
it start?
okay, so there was a night that she called me
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking.
Mm-hmm.
And then after we got off the phone, I texted her and I asked her for my money that she owed me.
Mm-hmm.
And she kept just saying she doesn't have it, she doesn't have it, she doesn't have it. And then she would send me a little bit at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I finally said, okay, well, I just waited like a week and I asked her, like, okay, so do you have the rest of my money now? And I never got a response back.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, like, okay, maybe like her phone is off or something. And
Mm-hmm.
I never got a response back.
Mm-hmm.
So in February, I got an email saying that I was suspended. And it didn't cross my mind that that would be why I was suspended because, like, like probably over a month passed and I was going to work and everything was fine. I haven't seen her. I didn't even ask her for my money again. And
Mm-hmm.
then I get an email saying that I'm suspended with no explanation, no nothing.
So if I
Oh
remember
boy.
correct, yeah. So if I remember correctly, did you ever approach her at work and ask for your
No,
money?
I
Did you
haven't
ever
seen her.
text her while you were at work?
No,
So you never contacted her about owing you money while you were at work.
no. I always knew not to do that because I just, I always knew there was a possibility that she could try to make
Mhm.
something into something that it's not.
Exactly.
So,
So you tried to avoid the situation.
yeah, so I tried to avoid a situation that I still ended up getting the crappy end of the stick.
So just to clarify here, you, like hundreds of thousands of other Amazon workers, had an Amazon romance. We'll call it an Amazon romance.
Yep.
It doesn't work out. You break up. She owes you money. You text her outside of work. You just want your money back.
Yep.
And did you ever make threats against her?
Nope. All I asked her
And
was for my money back.
I actually can say that I read the text messages. And I can confirm that based on the text messages that I received, there were no threats. Not
Nope.
to mention, nothing happened at work. Nothing at all.
Nope.
So you
Nope.
get the email. How long did it take for you to receive a phone call after the email?
So I believe that I got a call on either, let me try to see if I can pull it up.
So you received the phone call,
Yep.
and while you're looking up the date, if I remember correctly, they did an investigation. And I believe you called me. You were shocked to find why they had suspended you. Now, the
Yep. So
thing
I
is,
got a call February 27th.
and that was for the investigation.
Yes.
So, how long did it take for you to receive a phone call after you were suddenly suspended without explanation?
I got the phone call February 27th, and then I got fired February 29th.
Okay. And what
28th.
was the email again? The date?
1 second. I believe it
So
was
you so here's the thing.
Oh yeah, they
You
called me 5 days later
5 days. Okay, so
after I got
five
the
days
email.
they call you. Now ultimately you're fired, right?
Yep.
But what were you fired for?
They said retaliation is against their policy. That she went to HR and said that I was harassing her, and that she was scared I was going to retaliate, and that's against the policy.
But what
Even
was
though
the
Lauren,
retaliation?
even though Lauren stated that normally this couldn't be an HR case because people have to hash that out on their own, but yet they turn around 2 days later and fire me. So
Right. So that's why we also have Vanessa here. You just heard the story about Cheyenne and the romance at Amazon that ultimately leaves her terminated. Nothing happened on the property. No text messages were exchanged while you were at work, but you still got fired. Now, Vanessa, you have been an employee for 2 years, right?
I'm muted.
No, you're
Vanessa,
back. We brought you back. We brought you back, Vanessa. We can hear you.
I'm sorry. My phone keeps kicking out, so if I kick out, I'll come right back, I promise.
please
Sure.
do.
Okay.
All right.
So, yes,
So
keep going.
let's
Yes.
so
Completely
let's get
different
right in.
experience than Shy.
All right, no worries. We'll work through it. Okay, so you just heard that Cheyenne and her girlfriend at Amazon broke up and everything that went down. Now, you also dated an Amazon employee, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your Amazon relationship and, how long it went on and, how long you dated before things started to unravel. And then we'll go into that. And I want to start also by saying I am proud to be a friend of Vanessa. I personally received a photo on the morning of the incident that we'll talk about. And to see her now and to speak out on behalf of the men and women that are victims of domestic violence is extremely courageous. So I want to thank you and I give you so much credit for doing this. So you and your boyfriend were Amazon employees. So go ahead and tell us when you started, if you started together, how long you dated, and when what happened with your breakup.
Well, my partner and I had been together for 2 years or almost 2 years, I think, when I actually got him the job at Amazon. He had lost his job at Home Depot, and I got him a job at Amazon. I actually applied before he did and got the job, but I said I was kind of like a little worried about my capability of working at Amazon. And so therefore he proceeded and started Amazon a month before I did, because he said, oh, you can totally handle this, come on over. So I came over to Amazon a month after he did. Yeah, he started a week after my first week at Amazon. I was assaulted and my jaw was broken. So I was immediately put on a leave, of course. So
Vanessa? Andy, did we lose her?
Yeah, we lost her for a second. She'll be back, I'm sure, momentarily.
Oh boy.
No,
Shy, are
here
you
she is.
still-
Yep, see, I got her. Hold on, no video feed. Here we go. She's back.
I'm here.
There you
here.
go, Vanessa. Okay.
It keeps kicking
No,
me
it's
out,
okay. Hey, internet happens.
I don't
All right.
Internet
understand.
happens.
Excuse me.
But so anyway, a week after I was there, I had to go on a leave, and I come back probably a month and a half, 2 months later.
So can I stop you right
She keeps
there?
getting booted. She got booted out again. I'm sorry. Yeah, her internet's really getting wonky. I don't know what's going on up there, but
She's in Albany.
yeah. I don't know if it's Wi-Fi in the building or here she goes. Here we got her back. Okay.
I don't understand this at all.
All right, let's try this one more time. All right. Vanessa?
Yes.
We got you
Go
back.
stand by
Okay.
the window.
Listen,
Stand
it's
by
not
the
even my
window.
service, it's this.
All right.
I don't
well,
know.
Oh, it's Restream that's doing it. Oh, that's so strange.
Okay.
It really
Don't
is
move.
because I have everything set up.
Okay.
So anyway,
So
I was on a leave right off the get-go. I come back. He's granted all these permissions and doing things and just a super picker and whatever. And I come back and I'm silent. And all these abuses happened to me while I was working there. I experienced injuries that I came to AmCare for and was given care for that was never reported because, here we go again. Can you hear me?
No.
yeah, I
We
can
got
hear
you.
All
We
right.
still
So
hear
let
you.
me ask you a question. So I do have a question. Now you said a month into yours and his employment that he broke your jaw and you were out. Now, number
Yeah.
one, I know that Amazon has a lot of support for victims of domestic violence. So how did they respond to what happened? Did you report it to them?
At that time, I did not even
You
report it as
didn't.
that. I just was out because I was in an accident.
Oh no. So, which is
So I was just out because I was in an accident.
so you were a victim of domestic violence, you were out, but like many victims, you didn't report it, and you come back and everything is, probably fine with him because that's the cycle. So you come back and things are good for a while, or what happens next?
Oh no, they were never good because this is where we go with warehouse romances and cheating on married people or partners, and I do experience all of that.
So he was cheating on you with other Amazon
Amazon.
people?
Well, showing interest in absolutely engaging in inappropriate online activity.
Yes, if I recall, he tried to
Kind of hard when
message me at one point, but we had to
it wasn't
we had to
just
teach him a little lesson.
people. So
So
and these were the things that like would initiate a lot of it because here I was like told to come to work here and then be subjected to like I don't know. Wasn't prepared for
All
it.
right. So you guys move forward. You're experiencing a lot of challenges. You don't report it. So now let's fast forward to January, the morning that you sent me that photo and what happened.
So that was initially the last time that I was assaulted because I had had enough. I guess you could
Mm-hmm.
say. And I went on a leave and I put it under the domestic
Say that.
violence part of our A to Z
Mm-hmm.
app.
Mm-hmm.
It was a specially protected
Mm-hmm.
leave, and I was unable to upload certain documents to their
Mm-hmm.
timeline. I had no access to a phone, it was broken. There was no way for me to upload. I assumed that I could come back to work and just give them the paperwork,
So,
and that wasn't the case. So when I came back to work, my badge didn't
well, you
work.
were fired too, right? At one point?
Oh, I think we just lost her one more time.
No.
Okay, no, that's okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with her with this Restream Pro. This nobody else seems to have an issue, but I don't know, for some reason it doesn't like her phone or whatever browser she's on. Or here
Mm-hmm.
she goes.
Are we there?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
here.
I'm
We're
back.
back. We got you. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's like every time your phone like the screen goes dark, maybe it'll boot you out. I'm not really sure what's going on, but
Listen, I have a
sorry.
conspiracy theory about that anyway. So
So
anyway,
Vanessa,
I
so
what
we're
happened?
talking about this stark contrast between what happened with Shy and what happened with you. So I want to kind of go through what happened. So in January, you were assaulted. You contacted me. You know, I advised you to go in and upload your medical documentation and the police report. You have additional protections under New York state law as a victim of domestic violence.
Well, this was after
So
I was
you
already
go in.
terminated, though. So like, I had did everything that I thought I had to do. I
Mhm.
went under and filed for domestic violence leave. Like I thought I was protected.
So you filed for it in your app. Now this is the Amazon A to Z app. So you go into your app and you choose the leave of absence that's protected under domestic violence, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if I remember correctly, you selected that and had to get your paperwork, but in the meantime, and this is something that millions of Amazon workers across the world will say the three letters that gets 90% of people fired is UPT. So you go in, you apply for your leave, but they're still deducting UPT, correct?
Oh, they took all of that.
Right.
Everything
So,
was gone. I couldn't even like they. Yeah, no, they were just like basically said I abandoned my job, like that. I just decided I
right.
didn't want to
So
work
you
there
end up
anymore.
getting, so you end up getting terminated
Yeah, well, they
because of the
sent me a
UPT.
thing. Well, I knew because when I went to go upload my documents, when I was able to, that's when I noticed I couldn't get into my app.
Mm-hmm.
And I was confused because here I thought I was under a leave. I had no access to a phone. I didn't get emails. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
like if you're just experienced like my phone was broken. I had no access to my app. I
So
was in
they
the
were
hospital.
sending you,
I
so
was
they
in
were
the
sending you
hospital and I
alerts.
had a head injury.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. I just thought I was protected. So
You're right, which you
I
are
upload when I
by
went
law.
to, yeah. So I really thought I was protected. Like I was like really hurt. You
But
saw
you're
the pictures.
ultimately terminated. So
So yes,
after
and
the
I
termination,
automatically I filed for an appeal,
mm-hmm,
which they say it could take what was it 24 hours or I can't even remember now. It's been so long that it would take a certain amount of time for me to hear a response about my appeal. Now, back when I applied for this appeal, I actually did apply for a panel appeal.
Right.
which was not offered to me because they didn't have that option at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm waiting for whoever is in charge of the building to call me and give me an appeal, which never happened. So I'm waiting, waiting, waiting. And finally I call ERC and I'm like, well, what's going on? And I'm like demanding because it's been like probably almost a week, not even almost. And then I get, oh, somebody's going to call you tomorrow. And then that's when I get a call from Stuart.
Mm-hmm.
And I explained the situation. And in my appeal that I had filed through my email, I said I wanted my job reinstated and my back pay, which was 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
My job was reinstated, but my back pay was not. They,
To this day.
I had to fight for that, and they,
Uh-oh. Did we just lose her again? Still there. I don't hear her. Just lost sound. Vanessa, you still with us? Vanessa?
V to the A to the Nessa.
No?
So, what are your
Let
thoughts
me-
on the stark contrast between the two relationships? One, both really ended in termination, but we were able to get Vanessa her job back because of the protections under the law. They weren't even supposed to fire her in the first place. And then when they reinstated her, but to this day still haven't paid her that back pay. So, it's interesting to see how these things play out. And Vanessa, was assaulted, but there was nothing that they claimed that they could do, unless there was an order of protection in place, which there wasn't at the time. But she ends up terminated for UPT. Shy gets terminated for something that never even happened. There was nothing that happened on the property. So I think that
Okay, Vanessa, you still here?
yes,
All
I
right, welcome
froze.
back. Okay.
So sorry.
so
All
we were just
right.
talking about Vanessa, how Shy and you both had these relationships at work. Both
And we
of
just
you,
lost her again. Ah! Okay, this is so crazy.
yeah. We'll just
Oh, restream is not fun. Okay. Oh, and she's back. It's like the
Vanessa.
nightmare Zoom call from hell. Sorry.
I am so sorry. I don't understand
We'll
it.
have to do a
I'm
Zoom next time or something, but that's
Yeah.
okay. We'll
Well,
make this
let's
work.
wrap it up. Vanessa, let's just get you as much time as you can. So basically we're having technical difficulties, but I do want to give you an opportunity to kind of just touch on, how you feel about the fact that Shy, was terminated. You were terminated. We were able to get you your job back, but the plot thickens because all of this happens. You get your job back, and we recently found out that the person who assaulted you just got his job back at Amazon.
I didn't hear all
Wow.
that because I got cut out. But yes, he did.
So here we have Shy. Nothing happened on the property. She's terminated. We have Vanessa, who was hospitalized following that assault. They both get fired for UPT. Vanessa gets her job back because she does have protections under the law. And she's been there 2 years. And we find out about a month and a half ago that he gets his job back at Amazon. So you can imagine how she feels. Number one, as a victim of domestic violence. Now, granted, there wasn't an order of protection issued, but there was evidence of an assault. And it is very common for victims of domestic violence to be reluctant to speak out, and also reluctant to, especially report it to your employer, because you don't want to be seen as a victim. And it is embarrassing, and it's very, very tough to speak out. So she did just that. She spoke out. She's been strong. She's got her own place. I've been there, and I'm so proud of the milestones. So Vanessa,
Great.
I just want you to share how you felt when you found out that he had gotten his job back and he was working in that building side by side us. Is she not here?
Extreme anxiety.
Oh, I'm
Extreme
sorry.
anxiety.
She said extreme anxiety. Yeah, I can understand. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. To have to see, like, yeah, somebody that's abused you in the face and you're at work where you, like, no. I don't know.
And I know that you had spoken to loss prevention, and I know you spoke to the managers, and I know, we have kind of rallied around you to make sure that you always feel safe. And, at this point, I wanted to bring you guys on because I remember the look on your face and how you felt when you found out that he was coming back to Amazon. There was documentation, medical documentation of the assault that had occurred. So how is it that we have these two strong women that both
I
work at
was treated
Amazon?
at Amazon for one of my assaults.
Say that
Literally.
again?
I didn't even go to the hospital. I was treated at Amcare for one of my assaults because I didn't have the time and I didn't go to the hospital and I went to work. Probably maybe I was like a cry for help and they didn't even like I almost feel like they always say you see something, say something. And Amcare is supposed to alert people of that. And I alerted and they knew that I worked with my partner and nothing was ever done about it.
So
And
let me
then
ask.
And was there a police report on the
it never
jaw
happened
or
at work.
on?
That's the part.
Uh-huh.
None of this ever happened at work. Although there was an incident once where he yelled at me in front of HR and called me all kinds of horrible names, which was overlooked because that's aggressive behavior in my opinion. And if they were paying attention, they would have maybe seen a pattern or something. I don't know.
So there was a police
Such
report
aspects
from
of domestic violence.
Vanessa?
And then you're shy getting fired for something that didn't even happen on the property. Like,
So let me get
it
this
just doesn't
straight.
make
So
sense.
Vanessa, was there a police report for the January incident? There was, right?
Oh yeah, I have a police report. He lost his own job at Amazon because he had to spend a night in jail and didn't have the time and he went negative for his UPT. It was like
When
3
he was in
hours, but
jail.
mind you, yeah, he got arrested for that.
So he was in jail for assaulting you. He loses his job because he was in jail for assaulting you. You're in the hospital.
No, he didn't get arrested for assaulting me. That's the part. That's the funny part. He didn't even get arrested for assaulting me. He got arrested for one night when he was freaking out because I left and he basically in the apartment and I wasn't even there. And I come home and the police had like raided my house because the neighbor upstairs called the police and he refused to open the door because they thought I was hurt and I wasn't even there.
We just lost her one more time.
Okay.
But that's interesting. So it sounds like he refused to open the door, he's trashing the place, so they took him in, arrested him, but it wasn't necessarily for domestic violence that there was a police report, like you said. I'm just trying to think from Amazon's.
Well, let me clarify. He spent the night in jail because what happened with the apartment, but there was a police report for the assault. They were separate instances because she went to the hospital the night that there is a police report. Vanessa?
Yes.
We're going to conclude after this because we keep losing you, but I want to clarify.
Yes,
So let me clarify. He spent the night in jail because he was trashing the apartment, right? But
Yeah, so
wasn't there a
no, he didn't spend the night in jail for that. Yes, he did, and then so he missed hours for that, and then the last time with all that shit with when he assaulted me, they weren't even arresting him because he assaulted me, and I have it all on video with Albany police too. So like, I have a lot of problems, but he got arrested because he didn't show up for court for that, for not opening the door for police, which had nothing to do with me. So he
So was
failed to.
there, but was there 911 call for the
Oh yeah,
assault?
absolutely, all of that.
So was there a
I have
police
medical
report?
records.
And
So you
Amazon
I
have,
got
have
all of that
forensic
and still
reports.
reinstated him is what we're hearing here.
Well, yeah, because it had nothing to do with Amazon. Even though he was on the be on the lookout list to not be on the property after all that when he was terminated, and they knew what was going on, and they still, oh, we have no whatever the word is for rehiring. It's all automated. So like he was able to come back in the system because he was able to come back in the system, and they rehired him
but
regardless.
did you, so at one point you did provide the medical documentation and the police report for the night that he arrived, that you ended up going to the
No, because
hospital?
that's not their business. They didn't ask for it.
Well, for
Why
the
would I give
domestic,
them that?
well, I mean, because when you went out and you went under domestic violence leave.
Well, yes, I did. I did actually upload the paperwork that showed that I was in the hospital.
Uh-huh.
That was all I
Okay.
uploaded.
Now, so
And for a while.
so what you're saying, let me understand. Amazon does not have a way to potentially stop somebody from being approved through the HR system if they are currently under investigation for DV. Is that correct?
Nope, nope. Or actually, when you are on a specially protected leave and you go negative in UPT or documentation, you're in an automated thing where they just fire you. My
That's
warehouse had no idea about anything. It was just a thing that the system did.
And the thing
Without
with Shy,
knowing
you
the
know, is
backstory.
with her phone being out, you know, that's literally their only way of being able to communicate with her that I would think of, unless she had another way to log into her account. I'm guessing not. So that's a challenge, I'm
And then as
guessing,
soon
for
as
the
I
other
did, I
side
realized
too.
what happened.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Crazy.
so this is, so with regard to Vanessa and her termination, she did get her job back, but what happens is when somebody goes out on leave, first of all, you have to go into your app to request the leave. And when you go into your app, there are so many different types of leave, which is one thing they pride themselves on. But the flip side is that if you're not experienced in HR and you apply for the wrong leave or the wrong accommodation or the wrong, there's so many different, then you get put on leave. You can't get into the building, you can't get into your app. And oftentimes, while they're waiting for documentation, the system is automatically deducting UPT. So the system is deducting UPT, and if you ultimately terminating you. But if you're terminated, then you can't go into the app to upload the documentation necessary to get your UPT refunded. And this is something that happens quite often. So again, you have the situation, somebody's a victim of domestic violence, it's very difficult to even talk about, let alone report. She does it under the domestic violence. It deducts your UPT. She gets fired. She can't upload the documents. So she ends up filing the appeal. She has to wait for a call. She does get her job back, but they never pay her the back pay that she's owed. And in the interim, couple months goes by, the offender applies at Amazon, which why would you do that? knowing that you have broken this girl's jaw, you have given her black eye, sent her to the hospital. It's been a clear case of domestic violence. So I don't even know what would possess somebody who knows that they have assaulted this girl and, at Amazon or any other employer for that matter. What would possess you to apply for a job there? But ultimately, he does get his job back. Matter of fact, shortly after he started, he like walked by me and then kind of started to approach me. And I just said, don't even think about it, and just kept walking. And I believe that's the sentiment among anybody that knows Vanessa or knew him. It's something that we've known about. But the flip side is she uploaded her medical documentation. So on one hand, they're asking for an order of protection. So they're claiming that they want or need an order of protection in order to, void his employment. In other words, they're saying, if you don't want him working here, you have to get an order of protection. The medical documentation isn't sufficient. The police report isn't sufficient. We want an order of protection. So that's why I wanted to have this conversation tonight, because here you have a victim of domestic violence, and anybody that has been a victim of domestic violence knows it typically takes an average of 6 to 7 times for a woman to ultimately leave. That's not something that's foreign. So,
Right.
when I hear, oh, they should have come forward sooner, and that's something that I did hear in the building when it came to Vanessa. And I was very adamant that if we're going to advocate for victims of domestic violence, and we're going to apply the law correctly, we need to know statistically that a woman is reluctant to come forward, especially when it comes to her employer, and we need to protect her. So we have this,
Yep.
Vanessa, and then,
Especially when your abuser works with you.
right. So, he's got his job back. So then we have Shy, no physical contact, no threats of violence, no harassment, simply wanted her money back.
Yeah.
Nothing happened on the property, and she's fired. So, how do you have
Yeah.
these two situations? And the central investigation of Amazon, and, I believe if we look in the media, we've had so many Amazon workers, if stabbings and shootings and an increase in violence. And we have to kind of bear in mind that we need to be consistent in how we're applying the policies. We need to protect victims of domestic violence. And we can't take somebody like Shy and say, oh, you wanted your money back, well, you're fired, versus Vanessa, who was clearly a victim, and he gets his job back. So how do we move forward? So Vanessa, what if you were to say, what can Amazon do for you to make it better? What could they have done better for you? And I think that Shy should get her job back in this situation. So Vanessa, in this situation, what could ALB1 and what could Amazon do to support you, to advocate for you, and what could they have done differently to make you feel safe when going back to work as a victim of domestic violence?
Well, first I'm going to say Shy should absolutely have her job back, because none of this applies. Like, she should still be working. I'm not too sure what I can answer about my situation, what Amazon could have did better. What could I have done better? I don't know.
I didn't know.
I just hope that maybe from my experience that people won't be automatically fired in the system, that specially protected leave should be like a red flag, so that people don't have to go through an appeal process and lose money, even more money, because they've already been out of work, already experiencing financial hardship, most likely. And I don't know, like, I really don't have the proper answer for that.
Actually, you know what, Vanessa, that was an excellent answer, because first of all, There is nothing that you should have done differently. I am so proud of you, and I truly mean that. I'll never forget that
Yeah.
photo that morning, and I will always remember how strong you were to come back from that. You could have easily went back. I know how hard it was for you. There's nothing
We
you could
just
have done
lost her
differently.
one more
No.
time. Yeah, we were close.
I
That was
know,
a good
but
run we had that time.
I know, but
I'm sure she'll be back momentarily. Oh, here she comes. So
I am so sorry. We definitely have to
no,
cut
don't
this.
be,
So.
don't be. But that's all right.
so but in conclusion, Vanessa, I'm very proud of you, but your answer is excellent because you're absolutely right. I do believe that we do need to fight for a way that Amazon does not automatically deduct the UPT, automatically firing people that have a protected absence, are on a protected leave. So that was
Let me just say this on a side note, real quick. And automatically deducting UPT. Now, I have an accommodation where I have an extra 40 hours of UPT every month. Why do I have to go to HR every time and be like, can you reimburse me? It should be an automatic thing. I have an accommodation. Just like if I have a permanent accommodation, it should be there. They should all know about it.
Yes.
Where's management?
Question mark.
That was going to be my question in all of this. Like, it seems that there is an absence of management being involved with any of this between you guys and the app. Yeah, I'm sure it's done by design.
It's all done by design.
It is.
We have, I wish I could show you my pyramid because I started out in pick. I've had so many managers, I can't even freaking name all of them. They don't know me and I don't know them.
The manager turnover is
done on purpose.
The manager turnover is just as high as the associates. It's just not recognized because it's a smaller scale. But it is true. And the thing is, most of our managers are literally college grads with no warehouse experience, no experience in the world. And I try to help them develop because they're young, and it's not their fault that they were thrust into this culture. And I do think that there are managers that are building that do try, but I think there's a majority that are inexperienced and don't know how to handle these situations. And I don't think it's the fault of not just the managers or LP or, well, some HR, but I do believe that Amazon strategically segregates workers, departments, managers, and, like, whoever heard of LP handling domestic violence? Isn't that traditionally an HR? And how does HR, right? And how does HR?
Well, even LP with my I have implants because I had hip surgery, so I have steel rods in both of my femurs and hip replacements. So I make secondary screening go off, and I apparently did it too many times for their liking. So I was getting called in to see loss prevention, and I'm like scared as shit, and I'm like, what did I do? And there's HR and I'm like, well, they're like, oh well, you keep making secondary screening go off, and I'm like, well, listen, this is my medical condition. Well, you need to get medical clearance from your doctor stating that you have this in your body.
Okay.
So I have a special badge that shows it.
I'm sure your doctor would be happy to write that up and tell them that.
My personal medical information. What was that?
I said, I'm sure your doctor would be happy to write that, but yeah, it's really none of their business. I mean,
no,
exactly.
They made her go to the doctor and get a badge.
Or I was going to get written up and I could be terminated.
If she didn't.
Richard told me this. Richard is no longer with us.
Yes, she has a badge that
Didn't Richard get promoted?
She has a badge that identifies where the steel rods are in her body. So otherwise she would have gotten terminated for making the security alarms go off with her legs. I don't mean to laugh, but this is how crazy.
I also told him, I said, well, you know what? I have metal plates in my jaw too. Do you need a fucking circle?
Oh.
I'm sorry, in my mouth. Around my jaw.
No, that's okay.
Sorry.
We're uncensored here. They're fine. We've got Sarah
like,
Chowdhury over on Rumble.
Ridiculous.
Wait,
Sorry,
Sarah's here?
Sarah's over on the Rumble watching us, and she says, hi, Cheyenne Nessa. And she says, I've had 6 manager changes in a year and a half.
Oh, Sarah's my girl. Sarah's actually going to Sarah's going to labor notes. Yeah. Yeah, Sarah's going to labor notes. I know.
Very cool.
I know. I love her. She's my mini-me at work. I'm so proud of my girls there. You know, it's Women History Month.
Take over Amazon.
Yes.
Thanks for watching INN, Sarah. All right. Well, I know we had some technical challenges tonight. I would like to do this again at some point. I definitely then we just lost her one more time.
Okay.
Heather, you've got some stuff to talk to me about with regard to ALU. I certainly want to get you on the record talking about that when you're ready to. We can do that another night. But I really appreciate you bringing these associates on from and these coworkers from the facility. Vanessa's back again. I was just saying, we'll have to do this again. We'll make a more stable connection this time, and we'll get everybody back, and we'll talk about this better. Sure.
Okay.
But I really appreciate you, really.
All right.
And proud of like Heather says, in order to come back from that and to work at the facility and to face that every day, that's wow. And again, I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. I know how tough that can be publicly. So I give you a ton of credit and really appreciate you sharing that with us. And thank you. And you're welcome back anytime on INN.
Thank you so much.
All right, everyone. And we will be back. So I'm going to let them go for tonight. Thank you, everyone. Good night, Heather. Good night, Vanessa. All right, just for some housekeeping stuff. If you missed last night's INN News with Reef and with Colin, you are missing something. So definitely go check that out. Tomorrow night, we're going to have Angel in the afternoon at 7 p.m. Eastern, and he's going to be joined by Snow Himbo. So that's really cool. Snow Himbo's on his way back from a brief hiatus, couple of months. He's going to talk about what he's been up to and kind of talk about State of the Union and some other things I know that have been going on. Saturday, we're going to have a busy day at INN. Saturday, we're going to have Angel's Pro Wrestling Show with Miss Witchy Perfect. That'll start at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then at 10:30 Eastern, Snow Himbo's going to do a gaming stream. I'm not going to make an announcement about Sunday yet, but there is rumor that there could be a show coming back that's been on hiatus for about 3 months. We'll see if that's going to happen. We're working on it. I don't know. So, yeah. And then, just check out all the INN channels, all the shows. We're going to cut this up as best we can and try to make some clips. There are some clips from last week's show with the ALU members and from the JFK 8 Amazon Union members. Those are really important clips, and I think everyone really should. Please share them if you can. Go to the Substack. We put it up at indienewsnetwork.substack.com. You could check it out there as well. And again, thank you so much. I appreciate everybody bearing with the technical issues that we had. Thank you so much to Heather for bringing everybody in. Thank you to Shy, and thank you to Vanessa for joining us and for sharing your story. This is Indy, and I'm going to say goodnight for now, and we are going to put up our new outro, so enjoy.